Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining Friday Live. I'm Andy Perkins, and I lead the ISV sales segment at AWS in the Western US. We're continuing our mini-series on data everything, and today I'm joined by Databricks, and I have the pleasure of speaking with my friend and former colleague, Jack Andersen, Vice President at Databricks. Jack, welcome to Friday Live, and thanks for joining us today.
Andy, as a longtime listener, first-time caller, it's great to be here on the other side. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, it's truly our pleasure. So a brief overview of Databricks for everyone. Databricks Lakehouse platform on AWS unifies all of your customers' data sources into a simple, open, and collaborative foundation of your customer's lakehouse. It's built on an open lakehouse architecture. Databricks machine learning empowers ML teams to prepare and process data, streamlines cross-team collaboration, and standardizes the full ML lifecycle from experimentation to production. They're in the ISV Accelerate and SaaS Revenue Recognition programs, and they're available on the AWS Marketplace and holds competencies in data, analytics, machine learning, life sciences, and retail. So Jack, Friday Live, as you probably know, is a way for the AWS field to hear from some of our top ISVs about your solutions, some joint wins, use cases, and how to engage in the field. So if you're ready, we'll get started. Sound good?
Yeah, let's dive right in. I like to dive deep.
All right, let's do it. So I provided a quick overview of Databricks, but I think it's going to be best if our field hears it from you. So would you mind telling us a little bit more about Databricks, some of the customer challenges you're solving, maybe particularly as it relates to AI ML?
Yeah, sure. Let me give you the quick setup, right? Databricks was born on AWS. We did our first 100 million of revenue on AWS. And we love working with AWS because our cultures are very similar. So our theme at Databricks is to be customer obsessed together. We really want to work backwards from every customer situation to advise customers on how to approach their data transformation journey and how to embrace a modern data stack. So I want to start by saying thank you to all the Amazonians out there. As owners, you're indirectly invested in Databricks through the investments that Amazon has made in our last two funding rounds. And we've really come a long way. We now have 3,000 employees, 20 global offices, over 7,000 customers. We have $3 billion plus in funding that is helping to fuel our growth. And we're growing at 80% year over year. Our CEO, Ali Ghodsi, just publicly shared that we broke the 800 million ARR mark. So, I guess we're going to be an official $1 billion plus partner very shortly. But last year was a phenomenal year growing Databricks on AWS. We did over 750 co-sell wins together. This year we're going to do well over 1,100 or more, thanks to your help. We also grew our marketplace TCV by over 500%. We're one of the fastest growing marketplace partners. So really helping you with your input and output goals, and then letting customers take advantage of their monthly bill and EDP burn down. But on top of that, you also leaned in with APN funding credits through the workload migration program and our partner opportunity acceleration program. And we helped distribute over $12 million in credits that really accelerated consumption for customers. And what's cool is that when a customer consumes more Databricks units that we call DBUs, that's all being driven by EC2 on top of S3 in the customer's VPC. We're a SaaS partner unlike any other because our SaaS environment connects to your customer's VPC. And that allows us to really work together on joint architectural patterns and future use cases that we don't even know exist yet. So it's a great format for us to be very tightly coupled on behalf of customers. And I want to tell you a little bit more about, what is our why? So Andy, you asked like our mission and how it's related to AI and ML. So a little bit more about Databricks, right? Our why is helping data teams solve the world's toughest problems. And our mission is to democratize data analytics and AI, much like Amazon's mission is to democratize access to the most current computing and infrastructure resources. And like Amazon, we believe that every company will be a data and AI company, right? Companies want to be data driven, they want to be AI driven. And our founders helped create an open source product called Spark. We have 3 open source products, Spark, Delta Lake, and ML Flow. And through these products, we have helped create a category around data lakes that we call the Lakehouse platform. And that Lakehouse platform is really important because as you work with customers, one of the challenges they have is integrating multiple disparate services. So we offer a single platform for data engineers to take ingestion through data pipelines and immediately work with data scientists on the same data set. And the beauty of a Lakehouse architecture is that we are able to do both structured and unstructured queries on a lot of data in a single data lake with a single governance model. And we're very focused on making this simple and easy to use for customers. And I think, critically speaking, the thing that Databricks does really well, and why this matters to Amazonians, is speed to results, getting customer outcomes in a very fast manner. Databricks can help get these outcomes for customers that really drive their business.
I mean, it's so interesting, the number of synergies between our culture that you just referenced there, from the working back from customer outcomes, the sort of focus on customer obsession, the inventing and simplifying the process to turn data into meaningful information quickly. I mean, it's so aligned. I absolutely see where you're coming from about the similarities in our culture, and congratulations, by the way, on passing that $800 million ARR threshold. That's phenomenal. I know that's just the beginning for us. On that note,
I want to give a shout out real quick too to the S3.
Let's hear it.
S3 just turned 16 years old. I can't believe there's over 200 trillion objects in S3. It's like mind blowing. And like we heard Adam talk about at reInvent, the data explosion is real. In the next 3 years, more data will be created than in the past 30 years combined. So, the fact that data has gravity and that customers want to monetize and organize this data, it is a secular trend.
Yeah, can't believe S3 is 16 years old. We got to get it a driver's license soon. So anyway, Jack, let's talk about Marketplace for a second. I know it's a critical channel for Databricks. Tell us, I think you might have an announcement to make, something new coming up. Late breaking news?
Well, we're super excited. I mentioned we did over 270 million in Marketplace last year. That was 370 subscriptions. All of those subscriptions were private offers. So we're really excited to announce that on or about May 1, we are going to launch PayGo in AWS Marketplace. And what this means is that Databricks On Demand will be available to all AWS customers. They'll simply log into Marketplace. They'll be able to click to subscribe, and that will start a process where they can start to consume Databricks on a month-to-month basis, just like they do any other native service. We think this is really important in how we co-sell together, because we have customers that want to start with that first use case and build from there. And I think when we see those signals from customers, or we drive customers to Marketplace, that will really help us co-sell together when we deeply understand that use case and where we can take a customer from there. So we're super excited.
Yeah, that's very exciting, very differentiating. Let's talk about a joint win. Walk us through the process. What was the customer challenge, your solution, and what were the business outcomes for the customer?
Yeah, so one of our public reference stories together is Comcast. I'm sure there's some Amazonians here that are Comcast subscribers. Databricks helps drive over 20 million voice-enabled remotes. So think about the amount of streaming data and the time it takes when somebody speaks into a remote that wants to, watch a sporting event, for instance, and to give them that response and that experience. And previously, Comcast did this on an on-prem Hadoop cluster. Probably one of our strongest use cases together is on-prem Hadoop migration into a data transformation play. And at Comcast, what we helped them do was reduce their costs of organizing and managing this data by 10x. And more importantly, we enable them to get more done with fewer people. And that's really one of the things we hear back from customers the most, is that without a single platform that's standardized, they have to invest in more expensive resources that are, as we all know, are very difficult to find. So simplifying how data is ingested, how it's organized and structured, and then how it can be moved into models, and those ML models are quickly retrained for results. And we love that we integrate with Kinesis, for instance, right? Great way to ingest data at scale. And we also integrate with SageMaker. So where customers have a use case that makes sense for SageMaker to be connected to the Databricks Lakehouse, that's a great better together story.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of great integrations there. On that note, what are a couple of use cases where the solution might be a good fit?
Yeah, so we just talked about Hadoop migration. We're very focused on, like Amazon, verticalization, right? So we have just recently announced a lakehouse for healthcare and a lakehouse for financial services. We have a number of solution accelerators to help practitioners in those two verticals get quickly started with Databricks. But we see media and entertainment as another very strong vertical, as well as manufacturing. And one of our customers that we love to talk about, and is another public reference, is Disney. So today, Disney Plus, the subscriber experience is driven by Databricks on AWS. And Disney's been a great AWS customer for a number of years. And the challenge that they had was trying to predict customer churn, which customers are going to churn, so that they can then put a program in place to keep those customers and continue to grow their subscriber base. And together with AWS, the outcomes that we're helping them with, we are now becoming the de facto standard for all of the streaming services. And we have other large M&E customers that are adopting Databricks on AWS for the same use case for clickstream streaming over the top media.
Well, what I'm hearing here is that I need to thank you for enabling all of my weekend and my family's weekend entertainment across the various providers, Comcast and Disney, that we watch all the time there. So thank you on a personal note for those wins. So ISV solutions complement our AWS native services, and sometimes we compete with the solutions for our end user customers. But tell us where the value add is of your solution beyond what AWS services currently.
Well, I mentioned previously that we have three very successful open source project products. And again, that's Spark, Delta Lake, and MLflow. And so we believe that being open is very important. Customers want to adopt technology that they feel they can avoid a certain amount of vendor lock-in. And so being an open source provider is a starting point for that. The other thing that customers really want help with, and where you see maybe the concentric circles coming together, is traditionally data has been served for BI within a data warehouse, and a data lake is a better scenario for structured unstructured data. And a data lake is also a really good starting point for machine learning and AI. And so with the lakehouse architecture, we bring those two patterns together, and like AWS, we can do structured queries across the data lake that return results like a data warehouse. And so what customers want is they want one place for the data. They want to get out of the business of having multiple silos that are loosely connected, and have a single place that is open, it's unified, and it becomes a platform. So again, goes back to ease of use and speed to outcome.
Yeah, it makes sense. So as a former AWS sales leader here, you're obviously familiar with the fact that the motion of selling into engaged versus greenfield are the pretty different motions. Can you give us some advice on how to sell your solution to a greenfield customer?
Yeah, at AWS, we talked a lot about the mental model of a buyer versus a builder. And builders like to have the right tool for the right job. Well, we see very sophisticated builders that no longer want to build and maintain a single platform. So our solution really resonates with builders, but really also with buyers. buyers that have a little less experience. And when we engage with our consulting and SI partners to help with the knowledge transfer and implementation services, we can really help customers get to a fast outcome by adopting a single platform. And I think some of the use cases that we see obviously are migration of enterprise data warehouse, Hadoop migration. We're seeing SaaS migration opportunities, as well as Oracle opportunities. These are all great starting points. I think it's an urban legend that greenfield customers are not sophisticated. There are a lot of very sophisticated greenfield customers. So I think it's really understanding where your customers at with their skill sets and their capabilities, and definitely engaging some of our our consulting partners to help get those outcomes.
Yeah, that makes sense. They're slightly different outcomes, but the point is, it sounds like that there are ways to solve them with Databricks solutions, and it sounds like you can be a very fast accelerator for migration to the cloud for our AWS customers as well, which is music to our ears. So what native exclusive integrations do you have with AWS services?
So native integrations with AWS services, I think we have over 16 integrations. I talked earlier about just the fundamental difference of our relationship. Unlike other SaaS environments where the data actually leaves the customer's VPC and moves into the SaaS environment that may be closed and proprietary, we work within the customer's VPC. And when we do that, we're able to take advantage of integrating to other upstream AWS services like SageMaker, or downstream services like ingestion with Kinesis. Those are probably the two most prevalent examples, but we help drive consumption for the AWS seller with the customer, and take advantage of the different types of compute instance types, depending on the job and the price performance the customer's looking to get out of the job.
Yeah, I follow you. It makes sense. So when you win, why do you win? And when you lose, why do you lose? Doesn't sound like you lose all that often, but in the rare circumstances.
Well, we're growing by over 80% year over year, and that's because customers are adopting us at a very fast rate. And when we win, usually it's landing one key use case or workload. So the motion is very much like the AWS sales motion, right? Which is to work backwards, align with the customer on their most important initiatives, help educate them and inform them of a better way to approach a problem. And I think my appeal to the AWS seller and SA listening to this call is, I think after spending 7 years at AWS, I have a lot of empathy for a day in the life of an Amazonian. There's a lot of signals coming at you, and I think we're at a tipping point in how the best ISVs operate on AWS, and how important that is to your customer for the next 2 to 5 years. AWS has to be the best place for the best ISV solutions to operate and integrate with AWS. It's very easy sometimes when talking to a customer to immediately start thinking of a native service to get something done, and that could be exactly what the customer needs. The ask here is to think a little bigger and say, is there another solution with one of our ISV partners? And AWS has got a lot of great ISV partners that can help the customer get something done, perhaps faster, or perhaps a better fit to the use case.
That makes sense, Jack. I mean, to your point here, it's all about working back from the customer. What outcomes are they trying to accomplish? And it sounds like for both AWS and for Databricks, engage early, identify those sort of top outcomes they're trying to accomplish, work back from there, and we'll win together when we do that more often than not. So on that note, we've covered a lot of ground here, but to wrap up, how does the AWS field engage their Databricks counterpart? Is there a single point of contact for the field?
Well, the AWS customer engagement platform that we call ACE, right? That's really the lifeblood of our relationship, right? Where the AWS team helps listen to customer needs and originate that opportunity to Databricks, and vice versa. When Databricks wants to, has a customer wants to engage with AWS, a partner originates. So by all means, the fastest way is to enter an opportunity and move it through ACE. And we've made a lot of investments here at Databricks with our specialized sales organization globally to engage and help align. So we work with our AWS partner colleagues, the ISMs and the PSMs, and when we have a customer situation, that's always the best way to do it. We also have a real simple landing page that is external. It's very complementary to what you might find in Wisdom. Definitely go to Wisdom. We're always helping to update the latest information there on co-selling. But I think you're going to provide the databricks.com/AWS-sellers link, and we keep our reference use cases. We keep our sales plays, our solution accelerators. That's kind of like a digital glossy for engaging with Databricks. So you can go to this page, and if you'd like to engage with Databricks, you can click a button to contact us.
Makes sense. Sounds like ACE is the place, and then there's a whole host of other options there for you to get the necessary information you need. So on that note, Jack, thank you. This has been absolutely great getting to dive deep with you on the Databricks solutions and where it's a fit. It's been an added pleasure just having your insight into how AWS sellers, as a former AWS sales leader yourself, how AWS sellers should really engage with Databricks and how we can sort of align our cultures towards working back and delighting our customers. On that note, really want to thank you for joining us for Friday Live today, and thanks for being here.
Thanks, Amazonians. We love you.
And for our audience, you've got opportunities, so please share them with Databricks via ACE. And if you have questions, reach out to the contacts we've posted in the chat or contact your ISM. And if you want a technical deep dive on Databricks, don't miss next week's ISV Unplugged. There's a link in this invitation. And we also offer monthly cash prizes to the top 20 folks who share the most opportunities with our featured partners. For details, check the link on our Wisdom page in the event invitation. And with that, look forward to seeing you on the next Friday Live. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.